Yeah, he does.
Okay.
We're live today. We are on the meat of the matter. We're getting into, apparently it's Endometriosis Month in Ireland anyway. Who knew? Nobody knows about it.
Oh.
So today we're going to talk about women's hormones. What the hell do three guys know about women's hormones? Well, we're going to find out today. We're also going to get into what Peter is going to be eating, what he's eating, and also he might have something from a very popular alternate opinion. His name is Dr. Ids, and we're going to get into all that today and more on the Meat of the Matter podcast. Welcome in, everybody.
Is sick and fucking tired of seeing all the carnivore shit all over this fucking house.
I can't even look at a carbohydrate.
Now that I think about it, we probably would.
You know, that it doesn't make sense.
I was tired of the guessing games, faking health, playing diet names, low fat life, vegan soul, but deep inside I didn't feel whole. Then came fire, then came fat, steak on the plate, I bounced right back. No more crashing, no more drag.
You're literally treating your diet like a fucking religion.
Look forward to talking about this recent controversy. I've already been doing it for over 2 weeks now.
Your fiber intake is fucking zero.
There is a constant in the calculation.
It is the most toxic fucking diet I have ever seen. Ever. It's not healthy. It is far from fucking healthy. Okay? It is the least fucking healthiest thing you can ever do for yourself.
And we're live. Welcome into the Meat of the Matter, everybody. Mark's here. We've got everybody together. And yeah, the time zone, Rick, is a little bit frustrating here in North America. These Europeans on the other side of the pond are having they're lagging. They're not catching up. So I think
At least our audience has the time right. So
yeah, right. It should all catch up in a couple weeks. I believe. I know the first time that this happened to us, I was sitting here for an hour going, "What's going on?" I don't even know if we were talking on WhatsApp at that point. But anyway, we figured it out. We are trying to be on Facebook today. I'm trying something, so bear with us if anybody's on Facebook and they're if it's happening. Yay! I am not tech savvy. I am learning as we go. So we've just got onto Instagram. We've been doing this for about a year. And we're seeing how we can do on Facebook. So firstly, shout out to Byron Funk. Thanks, Byron. We love you, buddy. I have been so busy. The pre-shows I've kind of been, we like to do a pre-show to warm up the algorithm for about 5 minutes, but it's been a busy day, busy couple weeks, busy month for me. And we get all our music done by Carnivore Beats. He is the man. Go check it out. It's beautiful music on YouTube, TikTok, and I believe he's on Instagram. Shout out to the carnivore community worldwide, and of course to the boys. And Mark, you've been busy boy with Carnivore Evolution. And since we're on Facebook, let's see what happens. But we should probably tell everybody what we're all about. So let's start with you, Mark. Just maybe give a quick intro before we get into today's. We're going to talk hormones. We're going to talk endometriosis. It's a subject that's close to my heart. I know in Mark's heart. And Peter, he knows a thing or two about. Dr. Peter knows hormones. But Mark, maybe introduce people to a little bit of what you're all about.
Okay, so I'm Mark. I'm from a small country called Ireland. I'm living in Dublin currently. I've been a carnivore coach now for just nearly 7 years now. I've worked with over 200 women in that time period. And we're going to talk deep a little bit about endometriosis. I have a little bit of experience in this as well. I've actually dealt with a few women. I deal with an awful lot of women who deal with menopausal issues, fertility issues, menstrual cycle issues, obesity, GLP-1s, that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's a little introduction about me. We've been doing this podcast now for just over a year now. And we decided, we all came together on social media. Myself, Peter, and Tony came together on social media. I actually met Tony through social media and Peter on TikTok, and I interviewed him a few years ago, and this is why we set this up. We set this up a couple of years ago, and it's been going strong ever since.
Right on, man. Yep. Peter?
Yeah, most people know me as the Dutch carnivore. I think that's how I started. I'm a type 1 diabetic, so I focus a lot on the management of type 1 diabetes. That's how I got involved in this whole carnivore scene. I started with low carb dieting, ketogenic diets, and then a year later or so, I became full carnivore, almost unintended in a natural way. And now I try to help type 1 diabetics. So I'm helping a few type 1 diabetics online. That's where my passion is in terms of helping others. And as the Dutch carnivore, I also, because my channel is doing very well right now in the Netherlands, the Dutch channel, I'm focusing more and more also on discussing like a little bit of the science and the nuance in the whole nutrition and health discussion. And recently, for example, we have been talking a lot in the Netherlands about raw milk. And you can say whatever you want, but there are two sides of it. It's not a black and white story. So I try to bring this across to the Dutch audience. And in English, mostly I focus on the low carb perspective, the name that's mentioned here.
Right on, buddy. And I am Tony. I have been eating this way for just about 6 years, a little over 6 years. And, like we said, I help people with diet and nutrition. It's been a long time coming to start this new platform that I'm beginning, and it's going to be Life After GLP-1s. And it's all about focusing on the people and support for help with people that have been, whatever the reason, no judgment, they've had to stop these drugs, or they're confused, or the side effects have become too overbearing. So I'm, over my journey studying to be a nutritionist, didn't want my certification because I didn't agree with any of it. And meeting these guys and finding out that, it was a very lonely process at first. I felt pretty isolated. I started a YouTube channel to talk about it and kind of gave it up for a while because it just seemed like nothing was happening until I kind of found Mark and Peter. They kind of re-inspired me, reinvigorated to start talking loudly about this lifestyle, about helping people figure out that there's hope and there's something that they can do. And, there's comments and arguments. Everybody says that diet can't fix everything. Maybe not, but I'll tell you what, it's a huge driver of your health and metabolic health. And I've, since we've been doing this, I've had such a great time talking to these guys and meeting people. And we do interviews. And I also want to mention Mark's Carnivore Evolution podcast. Him and Victoria Olsen, she runs the Carnivore Diet After Age 40 group on Facebook. Beautiful soul. And her and Mark have this podcast. It's a little bit more one-on-one. Go check them out. Please subscribe to it. Subscribe to all the channels. We need help, guys, just to share this message. Come hang out with us. We like to get engaged with our chats. We love the originals, the locals, and all the people that are regulars. Lisa, Byron, Rick, we really appreciate your support because, we're all about this message and all about being.
Yeah, you should come on. Oh, how do you say that? Get on the show one time.
Yeah, Rick, we need you, buddy. We want to talk to you. And Byron's been a huge help with music, so please go support Carnivore Beats. Just subscribe to his channels and share his stuff. Great music. We will be focusing it on the pre-show a little bit once I get my life in order. Jeez, I've been so busy, boys. It's good. It's a good thing, but. That's it. But today, guys, Mark sent. We have a little chat group that we talk about, and Mark sent something that was kind of, this is near and dear to my heart, especially my partner, my love, my girl. She's been suffering with endometriosis for pretty much most of her life, and I have witnessed firsthand over the last couple years not only the healing power of diet, but when she's been suffering with something for her whole life and how drastically it's changed. And there's still things that we need to work on. Her cycles have gotten immensely better, but this is the awareness that from a man's perspective, and why I titled this, what the hell do we have to know about women's hormones? Well, I live with it every day. And I think men, we need to step up and understand that the whole female hormonal cycle is very complicated. And I believe, and we're gonna get into that a bit today, they've been gaslit, we've been told to just suck it up. It's just PMS or it's just cramps. You know, from a man's perspective, we kind of just go, oh, she's being hormonal. And I think, you know, knowing what I know now and knowing how I was sort of handling this my whole life with friends and family and women, I think we not only owe women a little bit of an apology because we have no idea, but the gaslighting, the medical system, the everything is stacked against them. And this Endometriosis Awareness Month, just when you sent that, Mark, who knows about this? You know, it's Endometriosis Awareness Month, but nobody knows.
And it's so important, and sorry, Peter, and it's so important, Tony, because I must get a message from parents at least probably once, maybe twice every say 4 or 5 weeks. And I'm not even joking. I can actually send you a list of messages that I've gotten over in the last 6 months of parents reaching out to me and saying, listen, my daughter's in excruciating pain, excruciating. What advice would you give? And when I get on the phone to these people, or I send them a message back and say, listen, you've got to get them off the sugar. You've got to get the toxins out of their body. When they're saying to you, okay, I'll do anything, Mark, I'll do absolutely anything. When you explain to them, okay, what you need to do, that's when they cut you off. Yeah. They cut you off straight away. They're like, my daughter's not going to do that. You're not going to kill my daughter. And it's very, very frustrating for me because you're the one that reached out to me. You're the one that reached out to me and asked for information. I'm giving you the information here. But instead of waiting on because that's what the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because I've seen the waiting list. I've spoken to people about this, and you could be waiting up to 2 or 3 years to be seen.
Well,
so it's honestly, it's scary. And I've been told this in the past.
Yeah. I've
been told this in the past. Like it could take you 2 years to see a doctor.
Well, you know, and we'll get your take on it, Peter, too. But I just wanted to chime in too with Fleur. She's busy right now. It would have been a great time to get her on, but she's got she's on a call right now. And when I started my first little carnivore group coaching, she was one of my first people that I helped. And she asked me, she's like, I have this. And that was the first I'd ever heard of endometriosis. And her story, which we've had her on, and Aaliyah and Pumi, hearing their stories about how they've been completely abandoned by the medical system or completely gaslit. And it's so like she tried this way of eating, and within 3 months, after 25 plus years of cycles in the hospital, steroids, painkillers, she told me she would take a bottle of extra strength Advil for 7 days, a bottle. Now she's got usually really one sort of questionable day when it first starts, you know, and I watch her and I feel it. And when she goes off her diet, or we've stopped the supplements that she's on, we see instant changes. Like she takes a step backwards. It's unbelievable. And we can tell, almost tracking through her month, where if she cheats at the wrong time, the inflammation just cascades and her cycle goes off the rails. I'm living this, and I'm sitting there going, oh my Lord, if I have to eat to her, because if I introduce something and it causes her pain, and I watch this, and believe me, I can't feel it, but I see it, and it breaks my heart, because it's like, holy shit, I know this way of eating. It's the inflammation, and it's autoimmune, and there's so many complicated, and that's where I have a tough time. And I think I want to be an ambassador for men out there. We have no fucking idea what they're going through. And doctors, we're going to get into that today, because I got a video that she sent me actually about what their go-to is. Just don't worry about it. Just do this. And it's wild. Sorry, Peter. And
well, I'm listening and hearing all these things, Tony. That I recognize it totally. I have somebody very close as well that has exact same problem since youth, like 15 to 20 years old, going to the hospitals every number of cycles, excruciating pain, and taking painkillers and that sort of things, lying in bed with hot water bottles, that sort of things. The pain is being so heavy that even during labor, because eventually during pregnancy, pregnancy did work eventually. Yeah, it was also painful, obviously, but it was almost indistinguishable from the pain that she was already experiencing during her normal cycles. And removing things like dairy initially already helped a lot. Later on, also just going to a more healthy lifestyle. So we were not talking about keto or low carb or anything like that. Introducing B vitamins. Well, guess what? That's what you find in meat. Yes. She was taking it from nutritional yeast and that sort of things, and improving the mixed diet. All these things helped. And type 2 diabetes, it's also clearly there that if you start to reduce calorie intake and especially carbohydrates, of course, you see improvement as well. Yeah. And Tony, I was thinking about another thing because, during your intro that triggered the question to me. I never thought about it so directly, but you were talking about the cycle in women being hormonally very complex. And that doesn't, complex and difficult to manage, basically, in modern life. But that doesn't make sense in nature, right? In nature, it should work sort of automatically. And so why is that? We are apparently doing unnatural things because I don't think it should be difficult. It's like with menopause, the same.
And I understand your point, and I don't want any women to think that we are minimizing this by any means.
It's a risky thing to talk about.
But you know, and I mean, when I talk about, we talk about a balanced diet, let's talk about balance with nature. The natural cycle, if it's impeded, especially now with women at such an early age. Aaliyah she figured this out by 16. She wrote a book. So if we take the women out of the natural environment, it's gonna get affected. And I've seen it it's all these references throughout my life. I don't want to say, I know how to do this, so just fix you with just eat properly. It's way more complicated than that. But the hormones are the key. And it seems like estrogen, luteinizing hormone, follicle stimulating hormone, from testosterone, from cholesterol, affects your thyroid, affects cortisol. Like, all this is like this big hormonal mess. And we just think a pill or a replacement is going to fix everything, or it's in your head, which is mind blowing.
I need to touch on that because I only took on a lady this week, and we looked, and I think I spoke about this last week, and she's going through an awful lot of pain at the moment. She has fibromyalgia, and she's been gaining weight she can't understand why she's gaining weight because our PT had her on very, very low calories. And the first thing I said to her was that I need to see her blood work. And she said to me that I got my blood work done 3 months ago, and my doctor said that they all came in, they were all perfect. And I was like, why didn't you not say to your doctor, you're telling me that these are perfect. You're telling me that this is in my head, but I feel like shit. Yeah. Like, you should have went back to him and said, listen, okay, well, hang on a second. I'm telling you what the problem is here. I don't feel good. I don't care what these markers say. I don't feel good. And that's where we're going at the moment. Yeah. Like you said, Tony, we're gaslighting this situation. We're just saying, okay, there's something wrong with you, because this is what I hear in the endometriosis space. And I actually put this on the video. You'll see this for yourself. The woman in the video says that she went to see these doctors, and the doctors told this woman, it's all in your head. All this pain is just in your head. You just need to take painkillers, and that's it.
And you look at the patterns. Like, since I've had this awakening about the nutrition and like history of food and stuff, when you see patterns, there's a problem. Like, almost every single woman that's come out and spoken about this says the doctors don't know, or the doctors say you're fine, or that this is a pattern, and it's clear that there is definitely something you can do. But when you're talking about blood tests, Mark, I was just talking to Anna Rosa, like we had a beautiful conversation yesterday, and she was talking about, and she actually mentioned it when she was on our podcast as well. the inflammatory markers that we should be checking for. It's not just your general labs, but when you go with the C-reactive protein, the fasting insulin, those tests, the GGT, all these inflammatory tests that they don't necessarily do unless you ask, or I'm not sure how it is in Ireland or in Holland. But I have to, when I talk to my clients about taking their bloods, I ask them to get the whole shebang. And most of the time, the doctors say, you don't need that. You don't need that. You don't need that. Well, if it's showing inflammation and you haven't got the test and you've just got a normal blood panel, they haven't checked minerals. They haven't checked vitamins. They haven't checked inflammation. They haven't checked fasting insulin. They haven't done a DEXA scan and seen if there's any metabolic dysfunction in your fat. It's crazy.
Can I just add a quick point there, Tony, as well? And this is why people need to understand the difference between the carnivore diet and the standard diet, because what we need to understand is this, because we're seeing this already in the carnivore community, that if your blood worker, or let's say your tris are very, very high and you're on the carnivore diet, is that a concern? Is that a concern? Because apparently in the carnivore community, they're saying like, okay, if your triglycerides are high, your fasting insulin is high, you're on the verge of being pre-diabetic. Fucking horseshit, absolute rubbish. You know how when you feel good, you do.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So this is why when I spoke to this lady during the week, I was like, listen, something's not right here. This is your body. You need to go off how you feel. So you can't keep on going back to these people and listening to these people and letting these people convince you that look at this sheet. This sheet tells me that all your markers are in range.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
And you're to that point, Mark, and including you, Peter, because you're type 1 diabetic. You need to know this. Like if you feel like shit, you're gonna go. You need to know why. But why did we go to the doctor in the past? Why? When you didn't feel good. Now it's like I think there's this side of things that, and I'm all about getting blood work done because you just got to know the game. You're comparing everything to the average citizen, not the healthiest 5%. And not to mention when you adopt some kind of ancestral diet, paleo, low carb, keto, carnivore, whatever, you're not in the same, like you're in a different range. Your body is working differently than everybody else's. We're measuring apples to oranges, and there's so many different nuanced things about this. And I'm all about learning your information, but your blood work is telling a story. It's a timestamp. Peter, if you pass out because you're hypo or your low blood sugar, you're going to go, something's got to happen. I got to go see somebody. You need to do this. But we all just go, like it's so crazy with this, the awareness in this space. And I mean, I'm with you, Mark. Like, I think how you feel should be the most important thing. But
can I just go?
Here's the problem.
Yeah.
If you go down the visceral fat range or the get a DEXA scan and know how your body tissues are working, how much muscle mass you have, how much bone density, then you can kind of gauge and compare that to something, a coronary arterial calcium score. These tests are not done by the system. If you want to know if your cholesterol is, if you got to watch it or manage it, don't worry about the numbers. Worry about if disease is present. If there's no disease, well, you're probably pretty good.
100%. Yeah, go ahead, Peter. Sorry.
Yeah, there's one good reason to include blood works and these type of scans is that only in a very natural situation. Yeah, so I have to define that. But let's say that you have fully adapted to carnivore. You are on a perfect diet that's perfect for yourself, and you recognize immediately when you eat something that's wrong and all these things. You have the right fat percentage. If then you go up in visceral fat, you will probably feel it. You will feel worse in these type of things. But in a normal situation, you may not be fully aware of what feeling normal is. So if you are, you can be perfectly healthy. Yeah? That I'm not saying that something should be wrong in that case, but you don't know all these things. You might feel perfectly all right, especially, of course, with heart disease. That's a thing. So why not test it?
Yeah.
And sorry, go ahead, Tony. No, you go ahead, Tony.
And that's a good point, Peter, because like a lot of people, like, you know, even in the recent times where people are jumping ship, I need carbohydrates. I need to say, okay, I have a problem with that because what healed your body? And I'm not talking about the people that have tried everything just for the hell of it and they're in shape and they're personal and they're like fitness athletes and all this stuff. I'm talking about normal people that have healed like impossible things, including endometriosis. How is your body now going to get worse from the thing that you couldn't get better? Now you're just automatically getting worse. And I'm not talking about tweaks with vitamins and minerals, because there is the modern environmental factor that we don't even consider: mold, pesticides, herbicides, your quality of meat. Everything is changing, but we don't look at it from the big picture. We just go, oh, it must be the meat that's, you know, I'm not getting enough, or it's causing damage. How is it healing you from like getting you out of bed and giving your life back to now causing damage and worse for you? It doesn't make sense to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I was just going to go back to what you were mentioning about Peter. I mean, when we look at Peter's situation, we know that Peter, he needs, his body needs insulin. He knows this himself. He doesn't need carbohydrates. So if I was to ask Peter the question, when you add carbohydrates in, how do you feel? Do you feel do you feel like shit, or do you feel good? Like how do you feel?
That's the tricky thing. So I feel bad usually. If I would introduce it slowly, and in a season where I'm exercising a lot, I could very well be deceived in the idea that it's okay to do so, and then gradually I will get to the point that I'm feeling bad, and I start to think, oh, well, I already introduced carbohydrates. Now I suddenly start to feel bad, and I will probably feel even better, less bad if I introduce a little bit more, because that's how it works. I will temporarily feel better, but in the long run, no doubt it's going to be worse, especially in my case.
Well,
So it's really tricky to. So you shouldn't go off a blood work if it's contrary to what you are feeling. But on the other hand, sometimes you have to, because if you are going off HbA1c in this situation, you might think like, okay, so I'm going to introduce a little bit more carbs to lower my fasting glucose and that sort of things. There's no general rule. Put your feelings. Yeah, even that is difficult. Put your feelings first.
No doubt. And you know what's funny is if you look at it this way, people argue that like a little bit's okay, moderation, they're okay. Okay, 50, 60 years ago, we ate dessert. Okay, everybody maybe had a little bit of treat at dessert. Okay, our carbohydrate food, even cereal and bread, was different. It wasn't as this adulterated. It wasn't like, now it's not the same game. So if you look at it from the ancestral side, and I think this is a more nefarious, deeper thing, that they tricked humanity into planting crops and relying on these grains, but that was to feed starving people in a community. This was not optimal health. It never was. And that's where we get tricked. And you can just look at, I've got a client right now in Germany telling me that she's kind of, she's enjoying her holiday, but she hasn't put on any weight. She's eating all these, like, she's eating just a standard diet. And it's like clear that the food is different, like 100%. So all these things, we just look at it in black or white terms. And I think that's that shit has to affect your hormones, and getting tied
100%.
into your hormones.
And see, the question we need to ask people is, why are you eating these foods in the first place? Apart from a body composition standpoint, which we all know you can lose weight on any diet. You can eat McDonald's 7 days a week. You can lose weight on the sugar diet. It's been proven in the past.
Yeah.
But is it the best way to do it?
Exactly.
That's where it comes down. And like you said, Tony, we need to move away from this diet culture. We need to focus on health here. We've been talking about this now for the last year. This is what our podcast is all about. Our podcast is prioritizing health. Yeah. You know something in the background is not right. You know something's not right. And when you ask the average person, okay, you might look amazing, but are you okay?
Yeah.
How many times have you asked a person, out straight. How are you feeling? How are you feeling? Are you okay?
Like shit. I get headaches.
I guarantee you, most people would say to you, "Oh, geez, I'm not feeling great today. I'm not feeling good. Yeah, you know, I mean, I've got this situation, I've got that situation," and you're like, "Well, do you not understand that you can actually control that situation?
And
you control your own health."
You know, and this is where, like, I want to like explain this too, because like this is the logic and the sort of the zeitgeist of our modern day. My mom is 80 years old. She goes out and hangs out with her friends, and they have this little powwow once or twice a week. And my mom looks at me and she goes, "Tony, I'm something's wrong." And I'm like, "What's wrong?" And she's like, "Well, I don't get up in the night to pee." And I'm like, "Excuse me?" She's like, "I don't get up in the night to pee." And everybody's telling me that I got to go get checked out. I'm like, your friends all get up in the middle of the night to pee and you don't, and they think you have the problem? I'm like, Mom, that's great. Like, just think about what that means. Like, your body's in deep rest and it's got to get up. Like, there's some things there. Like, and it's just an example of how we've normalized feeling like shit. We've normalized, you wake up and you're kind of foggy and it's just the way it is. It's just, you know, oh, I get headaches once in a while. It's just the way it is. It's not the way it is. This is not the way we're supposed to be, because we've talked to hundreds, if not thousands of people collectively that don't feel like shit. So, you know, and that's the thing. Well, let's get into this video.
Oh,
Mark.
yeah. I just had to show this because we were talking about going to the bathroom in the night. This is how my toilet looks like, right? It's just a joke on TikTok, but it's like everybody says, like, you don't need fiber. Well, you need fiber to poop. So I dedicated the toilet to a different purpose.
Yeah, Peter poops once a year. Nice. Well, we're going to find out, because you're going to find out what you're eating. But let's get into this video clip that Mark sent me, and then we'll kind of talk about it. And then I've got something else lined up that talks about the birth control. The volume's a little low, guys.
I was in so much pain. I was having to cancel work, and I just was like, I can't live like this. 24-hour day, chronic pain and fatigue that I didn't even really think was linked to my period at the time. I just was in so much pain. So I was opening for sets early because I was going to faint. I fainted in the gym. I was putting on so much weight. No one could understand what was wrong with me. I had blood tests, ultrasounds, MRIs, and every doctor was like, "Look, you're fine. There's nothing wrong with you." And I was in literally 24-hour day chronic pain every day for about 2 years.
But this is the thing. You went to doctors. You kept going and going. There's something.
Do you notice how that guy just couldn't believe that the doctors couldn't help her either?
Yeah.
So that's like a reverse gaslight. It's a reverse. What do you mean the doctors couldn't help you?
Yeah. And that should open people's eyes straight away that these people are going to these people for help, and they're not being given the information that they need. And this is happening to everyone. People need to open up their eyes that you're going to see your doctor and you're in and out you're in and out of the building within 5 minutes. Yeah. Prove me wrong, because you go into his office and he won't even ask you the question, "What are you eating?" When is the last time your doctor mentioned to you, "What are you eating on a daily basis?"
What are you eating? No shit.
He never mentioned it once. Never mentioned it. I know for me, when I used to go to see my doctor, I'd be in and out within 2 minutes. He'd give me a quick look at, and then he'd say, "Okay, you're gonna be on this pill. You're gonna be on this medication." Yeah. Without addressing anything else.
And I've
talking about anything else.
How many times you hear these stories where it's like, "Well, we'll try you out on this pill and we'll see how it goes, and then we'll kind of readjust in a few weeks and see how you do." What? Like, okay. So then you increase doses and mix and match different SSRIs. Oh, you're depressed because of your, man. It's just it's a perpetuating cycle. And let's see what Mark says about this, because I love your little captions here.
Something wrong with me. They knew. You knew. Yeah, you know yourself. You know there's something wrong with you. And doctors.
I love it, buddy.
"Oh no, you're fine."
I've been living with what I call a demon in my uterus for a long time that, you know, it has ruined my life and my quality of life in a lot of ways. And I've learned to live with it and manage it. And but
I said, right, okay, let's do a month, and then it was 3 months, and then it's just continued on from there, just feeling better and better. It was like waking up. It was like.
Listen to that. That's amazing, buddy. Like, just you can hear it in the voice, like wild.
Oh, like I've had, I think in the last couple of years, I think I've had 3 people that came to me with endometriosis, and this is the lady that she didn't want to come on and do a podcast with me, so I just said, can I record your voice while I'm doing this, and she said, yeah, no problem. And I always use this, and people are always saying to me it's fake. Always. Everybody always sends out this message to me that this is fake. And I have to send them this woman's details.
Yeah.
With her permission, obviously. And I ask her, like, listen, this guy is convinced that this is wrong. This is not real. And then when I send them the woman's link, her Instagram story or her Instagram feed, they never get back to me. Never.
Yeah. And you know, well, it's crazy because, you know, with Fleur, she has obviously her women's thing. She helps women, and they talk to her about it, and they're like, "You look amazing." Mm-hmm. Holy shit! They know how much she suffered because she would have to cancel everything. Everything stops for 7 days for her whole life. All of a sudden, she's able to do things. She didn't lose a pound for 6 months. Did not lose 1 pound. Was slowly getting better. Then she lost about 60 pounds in 3 months. And now she's kind of like, and she's been sort of losing body fat percentage ever since. But none of her women friends come up and say, "What have you done? Oh my God, it's it." She mentions it, and they go, "Oh wow, that's you. That's great. You can." It's like you come to me telling me how good I look and how well I'm doing, and then when you tell me what's wrong with you and that this might help you, they can't believe it. And it's so deflating for her because she's just like, you think it's me? Like, it's what I'm doing, dummy. Like, it's unbelievable what happens. And I'm sure we've all got that too. Peter, you got it.
I just want to add one more point, because I've seen this now with women with like Crohn's, fibromyalgia, and endometriosis. And the reason why I mentioned those 3 is because they're all gut issues primarily. They're all like major gut issues. And when you look at the diet, it's rich in fiber. A lot of fiber is in the diet in all 3 cases. And this is what people are saying, okay, in order for you to improve this condition, you need to add in more fiber. But people don't understand this is what's actually causing the problem. This is actually doing unbelievable damage to the body. And people just don't understand that.
And then Mark, the thing is that even if you don't believe it's causing the problems, it's at least maintaining the problems. It's not going to help you to get rid of the symptoms even. No. So even if you're a skeptic, you should be able to accept that fact.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I mean, when you say it all starts from the gut, you just have to relate Michaela Peterson, autoimmune rheumatoid arthritis, like all this shit, 8 years. And people jump off like, she's not a carnivore anymore. No shit. She's able to eat the other that should show you how her gut has strengthened. And you have to eliminate this. And the problem is, as well, is every body is different. Every single context, gut status is different. Every body is going to take their own time to heal. You can't go 40 years destroying your gut and expect to be magically turned around in a week. And that's where people get scared, because if you switch your microbiome in a matter of days and you just go full carnivore, 0 to hero, your explosive diarrhea might scare you. I mean, but we're seeing this, and healing the gut doesn't include fiber. Like, you're right, Mark. Like, I mean, I'm going to die on the sword. I'm not saying fiber is good, bad, anything, but if your gut is leaky and broken and things are getting through there, that's not going to do you any favors. And let alone, I just had a friend of mine, he just called me. He's like, man, I got to do something about my gut. What do I do? And I'm like, okay, what are you eating? He told me oatmeal for 35 years. I was like, stop the oatmeal no matter what right now. He started eating a little bit more meat, becoming aware, becoming savvy. Just left me a message 2 days ago. I don't know how you did this, but me stopping oatmeal for a month, my gut is 85% better And oh my God, what do we do now? And I'm like, this is just stopping oatmeal.
But isn't it amazing that the information you're giving out, it's just simple. It's just basic advice. I've said this many times. I'm not a doctor.
Yeah.
I'm not a doctor at all. But I've had over 50 pregnancies in the last 6 years.
You're a busy boy.
Like
when you say it like that, it sounds funny, but
yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, it's like women are coming to me, and they're not coming to me to lose weight. They're coming to me because they've heard stories from their friends that this crazy guy on social media that I've been working with, he's been telling me, like, listen, the diet that I've been on for years and years and years has been wrong. He's been putting me on a high fat diet. I never thought I'd ever have a baby. 4 months later, I'm having a baby. And then these women are reaching out to me and saying, well, listen, I'm in the same situation. I'm in the exact same situation. I can't have a child. I've been told I can't have a child. I have PCOS symptoms. I have, my fertility is all over the place. My menstrual cycle is all over the place. And even these women who are endometriosis, these women are being told that your chances of having a baby are limited because of your condition. This is horseshit. Absolute horseshit.
And when you look at that whole problem from the beginning, now you're eating low fat, you're eating high fiber, you're telling you that your cholesterol you got to watch, where that's all your hormones are built, your sex hormones, your steroid hormones are built from cholesterol. So why would you be lowering it? You know, like, it's just, do you need to be a doctor to see that there's something there? You know, whether you're low carb but fat is the key. Fat is, this is the thing.
I need to go back on that as well. What you were saying, Tony. Yes, fat is absolutely essential. We know how fat is important for healing the body, but we also need to understand how important protein is.
Well, protein is right. Protein
is just as important. So you want to get that 1-to-1 ratio, and that's why when we look at the meat, it comes in the perfect form. This is why we made this podcast, because this is what we've been saying for a long time. You need to eat the appropriate diet for your body, and we believe that is just eating more like fatty based meats.
And,
forget about the lean sources.
Yeah. I have a question for you. I'm just interested. It's maybe a too simple question, but if you were to order all the different aspects of a good diet, and when you try to become pregnant, for example, what's the most important? So we have the fats, we have things like proteins, also nutrient deficiency in terms of micronutrients, B vitamins, and those things. I've seen that with my relative. High insulin, so low carb aspect, inflammation, gut health. Like, what is it? Would you place something like insulin at the top, or maybe it's a silly question anyway, but it's like, what's the most common thing that you come across?
It's gonna be because the first thing I look at, first of all, when I'm dealing with one of these ladies, is their blood work. And I noticed that the insulin, the blood sugars are too high, the fasting insulin is too high, their HbA1c is too high, the tris are too high. So the first thing I do at the very, very beginning is I have their fat intake like really, really high, really, really high. So let's say a woman comes to me, she's like 200 pounds. I'm going to start that lady on maybe around 140, something like that, 140 protein, which is really, really low. And I'm going to have them on way over 200 grams of fat a day, maybe about 250, maybe 260. The reason why I want to do that is because I want to heal the body as quick as possible.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to heal the body as quick as possible. Once I heal the body and the body's functioning the way it should be, then I'll start titrating the macros. Then I'll start focusing on the weight loss, what they want to achieve. But at the very, very beginning, a lot of people need to understand that when you come into the carnivore space, you're coming into the carnivore space to repair the damage.
Yes.
You want to clean your body from the inside out. So the best way to do that is you need to heal the body first. And I think this is extremely important because people are looking for this quick fix. People are convinced that the carnivore diet is a quick fix. It's not. If you've been doing damage to your body for, say, over 20 years, that healing process could take up to a year, probably a bit longer. And you need to just go with it. You just, if the scale does not move, and we'll talk about that shortly, but this is what I'm saying about, this is what frustrates me about women, because I'm always saying this to women, because they'll always say to me, but Mark, but scale's not moving, like what's going on here? I'm not losing any weight. And I'm like, you don't understand. There's too much inflammation in your body.
We need to
way
repair.
too much. We need to repair all this. And I can't give you a timeline on this. No. I just can't. All I can say to you is just trust me.
Yes.
You're going the right direction. Just keep doing it.
That sounds like my client call, man. It's like, just, you need to trust the process. Like the first 6 months, the first 6 months is usually me trying to reinvent the wheel, because they have to get it in their minds. And I want to touch on that, Mark, because I have if all things were created equal and we're just living from a 0 point, what is food? Eat close to God and Mother Nature intended, whole food. Prioritize protein. Don't fear and fill with fat. Control your carbohydrates. Those three, the carbohydrates is a knob. Some people can tolerate them. If you're broken, that knob might have to be 0 for a long time. That's the problem where we're at. And I agree with you. Like the amount of healing that goes on, we don't know. We can't quantify, because everybody's different. Everybody's where they're starting is different. Their 0 point is different. It might take somebody 2 years. Michaela Peterson, 8 years.
8 years, yeah. 8 years.
To get back to that 0 point where you can start to maybe tweak stuff. And, and I know everybody says, oh, no, you can't eat this on carnivore. Look, carnivore diet to me is a tool. It's just reevaluating and reassessing your situation. It's great. But
can I just add to that, Tony? You guys seen what happened to me last week. Now I've been carnivore for I'm going to 7 years of being carnivore. I just added in a small bit of pepper. I think it was last week or the week before, and my finger blew up. Literally blew up, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, never had these issues with pepper in the past, and I couldn't believe it. And I was
people will argue that. They'll say, you're just not used to it, Mark.
Exactly, yeah. And I was actually going to do a few experiments on myself, because I was going to, okay, I've been doing this for a while. It'd be interesting to see how my body adapts if I add in, say, something. I was going to actually add in a few berries just to see what would happen. Ever since that incident, I'm like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. My body is fully cleaned at the moment.
And that's the thing. What is it worth it? Like, that's what I do. If I go out to a fine dining, event restaurant that's a 5-star chef and all that stuff, I look at it and go, okay, what is it worth it? If something comes up that I'm going to try or something, okay, if I know something's going to cause something, do I enjoy it and then suffer? But at least I'm in control of my choices and understanding that couscous is probably going to do some shit. Do I want to eat it now or don't I? And there might be a time for people. My client right now that's in Germany, she's enjoying her holiday. But I'm hoping that when she gets back, she understands that it was worth it. It was a moment to enjoy her family and her time. Now she comes back and we get to work. And it's just, I can't tell her if it's worth it or not, but she's got to make that choice. And I think that's where everybody sort of lies. And I mean, I want to live my life to the best of and enjoy it. But I do resonate and feel better when I eat my specific way.
And life is for living, but I think at the same time, life is for learning also. You need to learn. You need to learn what works for your body, and that's it. I mean, nobody's ever going to force anybody to do this diet, but when you do this diet, you have to make the choice. And I think it's important that if you're 6 months into this, you need to experiment on yourself. I really believe that.
Yeah.
I really believe if you're 6 months into this, 9 months into this, you need to introduce these foods back in, because just you need to see just to see the impact these foods have on your body. And then you can make the decision, okay, am I going to go down this route where I'm going to eat these foods in moderation, or am I just going strict carnivore?
Yeah, do it responsibly. Start with things like simple vegetables, low-carb vegetables, or an avocado, that sort of things. And eventually, maybe down the road, try one time
eating a piece of pizza, if that's just to see what it does.
Man,
I got sold down the river a few months ago when we were like, we're just gonna try a pizza, and we were like, let's get a keto pizza, get a cauliflower crust. There's flour in it. It's not cauliflower. This is not made from cauliflower. It's made with flour and cauliflower. Like, what? I was like, this is retarded. How the hell did they do this? Like, how can you call this a cauliflower? Like, I'm thinking cauliflower, Parmesan cheese, like this. No, it was all dusted with flour and shit. I'm like, what's the point? Like,
Yeah.
It was.
Well, I remember a couple of years ago when I was on holidays. This was about 4 years ago, and I had a massive sugar addiction. And we were in the heat. It was very, very warm, but they had this big bowl of fruit in the room, and I just said to myself, I'll just have a banana. What's the harm? No word of a lie, I finished the bowl within 15 minutes. 15 minutes, I was gone. And then after that, I had to have a bowl of cereal. I swear to God, I was going out of control. I think for an hour, I was just eating crap.
Wild, yeah.
Non-stop. And I couldn't control that situation. I just could not control that situation.
I had that time with, like, I've told you guys, I've mentioned it before, when I was doing that BBBE challenge. It was probably like the second time I did it, and I was like all cocky. I was like, get some bacon from the butcher, and it was all maple bacon, and I was like, I'll be fine. Right to the store, man. Ice cream, cookie. I was like, I'm like 2 years into this carnivore diet, and I'm still like sugar addicted. Like,
yeah. It catches up on you. It's always there, lingering in the background.
Yeah.
I put this picture up. It's not my pizza, but it's pizza from my butcher. He sent me this on WhatsApp, and it's a meat-based pizza. I mean, if you want to deviate from carnivore, do something like this.
Yeah, man.
Cheese. I think cheese and beef mince, chicken mince.
Yeah.
And a little bit of vegetables, some pepperoni, I think. But yeah, from this butcher.
I would recommend, if anybody's watching this, buy Courtney Luna's book or Jenny Millich's book, because these guys have unbelievable recipes.
Well, or go to Tony Stewart Coaching and check out my video Carnivore Crust, because that shit is good.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Really, and that's the thing. Like, you can live this lifestyle and still eat really good food.
Like
really good food.
Fleur and I actually made a steak Caesar salad with croutons, but there wasn't any lettuce. It was just like thin sliced beef, Caesar salad dressing, and these things we cut into croutons. It was like crunching on unbelievable, and it's chicken.
I seen that video the other day. Yeah, I seen that. You guys are snacking on some pork loins or something, aren't you? It look really nice.
Those are my chips, man. That's every once a week I just, and I eat the whole bloody pack of bacon.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about it at all. So.
And it's the same. Like Dr. Kiltz has his own ice cream.
Yeah.
I know Robert Kiltz, or not Robert Kiltz, Robert Sykes, like the Keto Savage. He has his own keto brick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I've tasted them. They're absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
they're unbelievable.
For sure.
Yeah. So it just goes to show you that you can make anything that you want on the carnivore diet without eating carbohydrates. You don't need to add in the carbohydrates. You can still live a very, very good life. Just eating the carnivore. You don't need. I think it's very important to understand that we advocate a meat-based diet because that's what all three of us do. But if you're getting into the space, you can chop and change your food, like the pizzas, the ice creams, and the treats, and just take away the carbohydrates and just replace them with fats. And I think if you do this over, Tony, if you do this over a period of time and just let your body adapt to this way, you'll actually enjoy it. You'll actually really enjoy it.
And I mean, I've found now, like when I was single, eating this way, it was a lot more just steak, eggs, pan, fork, knife, done. Like now, when I'm with with Fleur, we chef it up a little bit. It's nice with somebody else to do it with, and it makes sense. I mean, I was very simple. Now it's kind of like we try and push the envelope and try and, crusts and breads and crepes, and it's all carnivore with gelatin and pork rinds. You can have some fun and make dumplings, mac and cheese with chicken dumplings. It's not macaroni, it's chicken dumplings, but with a beautiful cheese. Like, yeah, man, you can go. And actually, Bella, I saw a pretty good recipe for French toast that I was like, I haven't had French toast in holy shit. It's been like 7 years now that I haven't had like pancakes with syrup and French toast. It's weird. But I was just thinking,
those things, I still am not very attracted to those carnivore pizzas and carnivore toast, and they're just heavy on the stomach. That's how I feel it now, and I'm eating all my meat raw. That's very light on the stomach, and then I suddenly, I mean, already baked meat is a different thing. It's more difficult for me to digest. I mean, it sounds extreme now. I mean, obviously it's still digested perfectly, but it feels different on the stomach.
Fair enough.
And going further, like things that are totally cooked inside, it doesn't work anymore. It doesn't sit well.
Well, we're going to get into that, but let's finish this with this clip. Just talk a little bit more about this, the vitamins, because Peter, you mentioned this B vitamins. You mentioned that they're in meat, and this is a clip from Dr. Josh Axe. He's a traditional Chinese medicine doctor. I agree with a lot of stuff that he says. And if you're going to be eating a mixed diet, this guy, like he's great. So, but he's talking to this podcaster that's a woman, and she asked the question. So we'll comment on it after this.
About birth control on a girl that's like, maybe I can take birth control to get my menstrual cycle.
Yeah. Well, birth control has so.
Because most doctors tell the endometriosis people just go on the pill and don't have a cycle. That's what it suggests.
Many side effects that aren't even on the label that people aren't aware of. Like, I'll give you an example. And let me just quote one study. And this is going to maybe shock some people, but this is one of the longest, biggest studies ever done on birth control. If somebody takes birth control long term, around up to, let's say, 10 years, their chance of getting hypothyroidism goes up by 287%. So, I mean, think about how many...
And this is the pill?
Yeah.
That we're talking about? Okay.
Yeah, this is the oral pill.
Okay.
So think about how many girls got put on at 16 years old, got put on birth control. And then all of a sudden, sometime in their 20s, they get diagnosed with hypothyroidism or Hashimoto's.
Oh my God.
I mean, it's probably the number one thing I see in my practice. I mean, and here's what people don't know. What are the biggest vitamin and mineral deficiencies that birth control causes? B1, B2, B3, B6, B9, B12, selenium, zinc, and good bacteria. So your body becomes so depleted of nutrients when you take birth control. And that's not something, that's why every medication depletes your body of some sort of vitamin and mineral. Some it's 1 or 2, like birth control, it's over 10. And those are the exact nutrients that your body needs for a process called methylation. I don't know if you've heard of MTHFR, but it's a genetic variant that some people have. A lot of people, actually 40%. And so if those women took birth control and then also have this gene, well, their body is going to be so depleted that they will end up with hypothyroidism. And there are other issues there. So my point there with birth control is, it's not a vitamin. It's definitely not a vitamin. It's a synthetic drug that really harms and depletes your body over the long term. And then there's also questions about, what about the copper IUD? Well, when you have that much copper in your body, copper and zinc have to be sort of paired up in the right doses. And so if you have that much copper, it's going to affect your zinc levels in your body negatively, which zinc is critical for gut repair, for immune system.
Wow.
For men, it's very important for sperm production. So, but overall, all of them are going to have some sort of side effects.
What would you say about...
Okay.
It's criminal, isn't it? It's absolutely criminal. It's madness.
It's the B vitamins again, like with metformin as well, it happens.
And then if you're eating like a enriched flour or enriched bread or whatever with B vitamins in, you're getting the synthetic kind. The folic acid isn't even folate. You're already depleted. Like, we know the importance of B vitamins, which you can't really, I believe you can't really test it because they're so water soluble. They're always B1 is constantly being used. Us talking on this podcast is depleting us of B1. Like, it's that important. They don't know how many there's, from what I've heard, they can't test the upper limit of some of these B vitamins, B1, B2, B3. So if you're already depleted of this shit and you're not putting them back in, what do you think? And look at all the women that go through this and they're just trying to watch their weight. So they're eating salads. They're eating, really, really low, not a lot of food because they're trying to stay. Wow. If that video doesn't open your eyes, honestly, I don't know what will. It's just
Honestly, this is what we've been saying for a very, very long time.
And it just goes to show you that their go-to. Imagine, you're a teenage girl, not knowing what's causing so much pain. Just go on this pill, and then not one conversation about nutrition, not one conversation about vitamins and minerals.
Sure.
And if you look at zinc and selenium, what has all that? What has all those nutrients? So if you're eating food and you're getting depleted by this thing, and you're not only replenishing those, but getting optimal.
The thing is that if you go on medicine like these, so I don't know, maybe there's a place for this in some weird situations. Sure. But anyway, if you use them like metformin and statins, like when you go on statins, the patient should be informed that you are going to lack CoQ10, for example, and if you take them, then take good quality supplements like CoQ10 and B1 and B12 for metformin, and in this case also the B vitamins of the right form, of course, because they do exist.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously there's a lot to say about using the medicines themselves, of course.
And that's where I have like with my ideas is our food system, our even our animal husbandry, our farming practices are not the same as they were before. There may be, like Lisa just mentioned, the B1 and zinc. It's worth a look at B1. Like the B1 is so important, and obviously it's high in pork, but the zinc, like I bought some zinc and I heard you can take a test with zinc. I get some ionic zinc and put it on your tongue. If you can taste it, and it's disgusting, you're probably, if you can't taste it, you're depleted. And that's sort of like an old wives' tale way to test it. But it's not a coincidence that during COVID, the people that lost the taste and lost the smell, maybe the zinc was a big deal. It's really linked to the immune system. That's something to look at. So, I think there's a difference. A conversation between being sufficient and optimal are two different sides of the thing. And those vitamins and minerals might be the holes that some people need to plug and play. Because if you're getting stressed out, if you're drinking a lot of coffee, if you're busy schedule, you're not getting a lot of sleep, you're exposed in a city to pollution, you may be B1 depleted, even eating a carnivore diet. Like
that's the thing with coffee, Tony. That I always drink it at least like two hours apart from my meals. Try even to do more, because proteins are being digested, and if you're going to add in coffee afterwards, it severely impacts the digestion of proteins in the first place, and then kinds of B vitamins as well. I think there's a strong correlation with coffee as well.
Yeah, B1. And I mean, if anybody's kind of feeling meh, like just not a lot of pep, it's worth trying the B1. Elliot Overton does a great job about helping people megadose, what forms, what kind. And, it's something to look into, because the funny thing is about B vitamins is there's no real danger about excess because your body's eliminating them so fast. So, and it's weird how people don't talk about it, and they don't talk, and all those B vitamins that you think you're getting from your flour and your grains and your rice.
Yeah.
Was it you, Mark, that sent me that? No, it was on your Instagram. They sent that guy that's like, I get all my vitamins from this rice. And it says right on the bottom here, enriched rice with vitamins. That's not natural nutrition, buddy. Like all those zinc, niacin, riboflavin, all that stuff that's been added to your long grain rice was sprayed. It was added. It's not real. And oh my Lord, that made me laugh.
And I sent him back a very, very good reply on that. I said, look at the likes of China and India. They're probably, you look at China. China has the biggest diabetes rate in the world.
Well, I think it's India, but yeah.
Is it India? Is it? I thought it was China.
Yeah, it's India.
India. And then I sent it back to him, and he never got back to me.
No.
Never got back to me once.
No.
And it's like, and you look at his feed. This guy has thousands and thousands of followers following him, and this is the bullshit advice that people are listening to.
And that also falls back into this, like fallback food. They rely on a staple food to feed starving people. So you take India, like you just mentioned. What's changed? The Western influence. Their grains are different. They're getting imported stuff. their seed oils now. They're not eating ghee. They're not eating their natural diet anymore. They're getting influenced by the West. Diabetes goes up. And it's the same thing as Asians. So that argument they were using, if you look at in Japan, okay, sushi, a roll. If it's just a nigiri piece of sushi with fish and rice, the rice is very mineral. They're eating meat. Like it's different now. So, you know, all I had to see was that bag, Mark, when that guy held it up and on the bottom enriched with a vitamin mix or something. It's like, that's not real.
But see, that's where we're going at the moment, Tony. That's what everybody looks at. When you go into a shop, the first thing they see is the front of the packet.
Yeah.
But they haven't got a clue what's in the back because they're not educated in that area. And because when have you ever heard a dietitian talking about the ingredients on the back of a product? No, never happens. Never happens. They'll all just talk about, okay, what we all focus on at the moment, eat more fiber. So when you go into a shop, what you see, this contains fiber. Yeah. We're told to eat protein. Forget about where the protein.
Fiber deficient.
Yeah, and forget about where the protein comes from. Just eat your protein. So now they're convincing us that if you have protein in fucking wraps or pasta, or this is just or even a bar, it's the same as eating meat. I mean, it's unbelievable. And this is coming from the experts. Yeah. This is not coming from the average person on the street. This is coming from dietitians, nutritionists.
And you notice now, even with the Kennedy, I want to do a podcast about that, about the glyphosate thing, and we'll get into that too, about what RFK is doing. But notice how people, when it's so funny, and it seems by design, as soon as you mention complete protein and bioavailable from meat sources, they completely push back and say Maha's trying to kill you. Like, look at this. Now they're getting in power. And it's like instantly, instead of just thinking about this, we gotta believe the hype. And the hype is everybody's got to think for themselves and just throw it all on paper, throw it all on the table. Look at both sides. Look at what is complete protein, incomplete protein, essential amino acids. What has what? Then figure it out.
Yeah, the thing is, to be fair, there are a lot of carnivores saying, like, when you eat plant proteins that you can't absorb them or you don't absorb them. And that doesn't help the discussion either, right? It's like there are examples of people, I mean, if they take tofu, seitan and those things, they get their proteins. So that's not the point. It's the point that you have to take all these carbohydrates with it. I mean, apart from seitan and tofu, but yeah. So that's the point. You have to eat tons of sugar, basically, to get still the same amount of protein. And then also the protein itself is not complete. So you will waste a lot of protein as glucose again.
And look at the go-to is pea protein. Who benefits from that? James Cameron. This is like, and go figure, Arnold Schwarzenegger's on board because he was the Terminator. James Cameron, like, they are intimately connected. So who knows what they're eating? Like, do you think Arnold Schwarzenegger, he tells everybody that he's a vegetarian now, but he's got enough money to get the perfect doctors, nutritionists, like whatever. And you think he's telling you that what he's, I don't know, man. I don't believe a word of that shit.
And I think what you said about the carnivore space, Pierre, I think it's very, very important that this is why you need to hire someone that you resonate with. Because I can tell you right now, that's not the information I would give people.
No, exactly. But
far from it. And I think that's why, like, because when you look on social media at the moment, especially in the carnivore space, there's an awful lot of interesting points from people. And I'm looking at it, I'm saying, like, well, okay, that might work for some people, but that's something that I would never do. Yeah. I know there's a lot of people in the carnivore space that would advocate bringing in the vegetables, bringing in the carbohydrates, and they're saying there's nothing wrong with this. Now, as I said, if that works for you, I have no interest. But I know for me, that's not what I stand for. Yeah. I stand for, I'm a carnivore coach. So that word there, carnivore. So eventually, I'm going to lead you into carnivore.
Yeah,
and you're going to be on a carnivore diet.
Well, I don't know. I've said this before, but my friends from Chile, they stayed with me, and they were vegans, and I was like, no, we gotta talk, because they were looking at me eating, and it was funny because it was all day. And then I was like, let's do a challenge, because they were like, well, we would eat eggs, and I was like, okay, we're only eating eggs for 7 days. Within 7 days, and this was 4 years ago, They still send me messages from Chile eating eggs. They're eating 12 to 18 to 24 eggs a day, and they're eating their vegetables. So they are vegetarian carnivores. Like they have not stopped. They tried it for 7 days, and they had the rebound because they were all grained out and fibered. As soon as that came out, they were like, "What? I feel amazing. I'm alive."
And it's these stories that you enable by using correct messaging to the outside world. And if you don't, you'll attain the opposite, and all the skeptics will just use your video and cherry pick all the wrong things that you're saying, and it's really bad. Like in the Netherlands now with this raw milk discussion, the average proponent of raw milk on social media is this totally illiterate, unscientific guy that is making some simple claims, and he is oftentimes right about a lot of things, but they are simplifying things like raw milk. If you are trying to be nuanced and try to include the opposing party, you have to accept the fact that there is a small risk. If you are going to fill the supermarkets with only raw milk, you have to think about how to do that. And so don't be very radical on these things, because you're going to
Peter, this is the difference though. Look at what we just looked at, that clip from Josh Axe. Those vitamin and mineral deficiencies are facts. This happens. Raw milk may. The downsides may. But the upsides, look at all the nutrition in the raw milk. So this is where we're at. Like if someone said, "Here, I'm going to drink raw milk," no, like gross, but here, take the pill for 30 years.
But there's one nice fact about this raw milk. If both parties were able to accept that there are two discussions, the safety and the health aspect, like raw milk has all these nutrients and bacteria. I mean, we accept it for yogurt, right? If we are able to accept that, we can learn from that. And even if you're a pasteurized guy, like you're a proponent of pasteurizing, you can learn from it. And well, I don't care. You add in afterwards the right bacteria and the right nutrients to compensate. I mean, I'm not saying that's the way to go, but that shows that if you are able to have this discussion, that you can go forward instead of like keep discussing the same point and nobody's going to agree anytime.
No doubt, man. That's another one we can get into in another podcast as well, because it blows my mind, especially in Canada. Like, you can go to jail, you can get a $250,000 fine for distributing or selling raw dairy, but yet the government can issue these things at will, and the medications.
It's scary, isn't it? It's scary.
Yeah.
Frightening as hell. Like, I mean, in my opinion, due diligence and consume what you want, like, but educate and like, make a choice. I mean, we all have, man, there's more E. coli and listeria from spinach and broccoli.
And it's a common thread, a common thing that you see happening with all these discussions. So not only raw milk, policies sort of becoming science. So we have the policy and maybe a century ago it was correct, right, to pasteurize milk with all the hygiene issues and the long distribution chain. So maybe it was a good solution in that situation. And now that has become the status quo and sort of seeps through to science. And now it is sort of a scientific fact that it's extremely dangerous.
Yeah, it's funny how it's switched on the plate. The danger is the policy, right? Like that, it just doesn't make sense. If you have your own cow outside in the backyard, what's the problem? Like what's the problem? It doesn't make sense. So yeah, all these food practices. We should get into that. But before we say goodbye today, boys.
Yeah. He's Dutch. He's not weird. He's fabulous.
Yeah, this is what I'm going to eat the coming 2 weeks. Brisket. So there's 2 reasons that I'm going to do this. I made a video like 2 weeks ago showing my receipt from the butcher. and everybody complained like, "Oh, the chicken is so expensive," and it's the bill was too expensive anyway. Like spending 100 euros a week or so. They think that I spent 100, 150 per week.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm going to show them. This stuff here costs 18 euros per kilogram. So to translate it, so that's 9 euros
In
per
Canadian
pound.
dollars, that's 585,952.
Yeah. But you get some very nice meat for that. So it's organic grass-fed, which is amazing, right? In the supermarket, you pay double of that for not even grass-fed. So I'm going to spend about 10 euros per day. So $13 per day, I guess.
How much are you eating? How much?
This is about 600 grams. So like 1.2 pounds. I don't know, something like that.
Okay. Yep.
Add in a little bit of beef liver, like 2 or 3 pieces during those 2 weeks. Maybe a can of anchovies or sardines. So 1 or 2 euros per day besides this stuff here. So it's very cheap. And,
Can I just add that? Can I just add in there? Because I'm doing this myself here.
Yeah.
A lot of
right
people
now.
are right now I'm doing this. A lot of people have been messaging me telling me that the carnivore diet is expensive.
Yeah.
So I'm doing the exact same as you. This is my staple at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty much my staple at the moment. I'm having 4 tins of that a day, right?
Mhm.
And I'm having ground beef. I've been doing this now for the last 10 days. My weekly shop is exactly about 78 euros a week. That's for a full shop.
Once again, people, that's 985,682 Canadian dollars.
Well, same here. It's like
that's all I'm eating. I'm just eating that ground beef and maybe a few eggs every week.
And it's probably
it comes under 80 quid. 80
yeah,
quid.
yeah, no, same here, and it's grass fed. I imagine, because if I would not take organic grass fed, I could almost halve it probably, and go for like 7-8 euros per day.
And I think it's important to point this out. I'm getting all my macros. Like, I'm still eating a good amount of food. I'm still eating the amount of protein my body requires. I'm still eating the amount of fat my body requires. It's just cheaper.
But you're not doing 4,000, not 4,000 or 5,000 calories.
No, I'd say I'm eating in the average maybe I'm probably minus 1,000 at the moment. But I'm still extremely full. Like, I'm extremely full. Like, my first meal in the morning is 3 tins of that. 3 tins.
Lucky you. And
I'm stuffed. And I don't know what it is like in your country. That only cost me €1. That only cost me €1.
Once again, that's 685,952 Canadian dollars. No, it's starting they're about
and going up.
$7.
Wow, $7 for a tin of sardines.
Well, if they're the good ones, like the cheap, like they're cheaper versions that you can probably get for about $3.50,
that's
$4.
insane.
Yeah, they are not cheap, right? I mean, how much do you pay for a can of sardines?
Who?
Mark.
I paid €1 for that, 120.
Oh wow, yeah. No, I pay triple, well, double at least here. Yeah.
And if I get them in like sauce or olive oil, they're a little bit more expensive.
Oh,
so when you get them when they're in tomato sauce or they're in other flavors, that's when they're more expensive.
Yeah.
And the good thing about my country is when you buy the ground beef that's 18% or more fat, that's actually cheaper because nobody's buying it.
Yeah.
Nobody's buying it.
We call that regular ground beef in Canada.
I can go into my local shop and buy 2 pounds of ground beef, 18% fat, and I'd probably spend around €10, something like that. It's
so Peter, do you
cheap.
eat that? Like, okay, yeah, do it. Do you just eat it?
No, but this one is actually not that rich in fat, but I bought it almost like 50% fat brisket. So at some point it was even too much for me, but I mean, it's a good deal because in terms of the caloric intake.
Well, yeah,
I'm still there.
Too, I don't know about if you guys have seen the gas prices because the world's lighting up on fire, but yeah, things are going to get very interesting fast. So,
but I think it's important we have this conversation because a lot of people out there are struggling financially.
Well, let's do Mark. Let's do the next week. You know what? I'm going to go buy a brisket, Peter, and I'm going to eat it raw. I'm going to do it just to go with you. I'm going to do that this week. I got to go refuel. I'm going to go. Hopefully the prices that I see aren't going to destroy me, because the gas prices just went up like 25% from 2 weeks ago. And now if the beef prices do, we're going to have some issues, world. I'll tell you, like it's, but
I think it's important to understand that we can, regardless what goes on, you can still make it work.
If I didn't eat this way now, even before this bullshit, I wouldn't be able to, like, there's no way that I could eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner out. There's no way I could eat out for dinner every day. There's no way I could have all these staples in my fridge. The amount of food that I eat, there's no way. I would be eating myself broke. I'm about $20, $25. Fleur and I are between $40, $50 a day. And we eat pretty good.
They're Canadian, right?
But I think
that's €2 or 2 cents, like 0.2 euros.
But I think it's important to understand that you should never put a price on your health.
No.
But I fully understand the situation, what's going on in the world at the moment. That everybody's in
gram for gram. So let's do that. Let's talk about that next week, and then we
100%, because I think that's important. I think that's probably the biggest question I get all the time.
Yeah. A lot of people
is like, I can't afford this diet.
No, well, with my TikTok videos on this topic, I mean, 2 weeks ago I did this grocery video that went like viral. I don't know, maybe 1 million views across Instagram and TikTok. Yeah, it's really crazy. Because people go crazy when it
You're
comes
a celebrity
to
now.
Yeah.
What the hell, buddy?
No, but it's like you put the logo of a supermarket. You put the logo of a supermarket shelves, some ketchup.
You'll be sponsored by the ShopRite soon, Peter.
No, but it's like it's almost predictable sometimes. Like put in some elements in it, like groceries, cheap. It must be something in the mind of people, like that maybe they are lacking nutrition or so, because they are obsessed about the supermarket, cooking, and all those things on TikTok.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, let's explore it. We might try and go live. So hopefully the Facebook thing worked out today. I'll find out after. But boys, always a pleasure. And I think this was a good one. I think the women out there need our help, need our support, men out there. Like, we need to take care of our women and protect them and give them hope and support them, because it's horrific what has been happened to society, really. For the last, since the dawn of the pill, go figure. I think our awareness and bringing it out, and it's important. So I really appreciated it. I had a great time. Mark, where do people find you? Let people know what's up.
No, I just want to echo what you said, Tony. I think it's very, very important. I think the most important message you're going to get from this podcast is you should never give up, and you should never ever be in a situation where you need to suffer. I think that's the most important thing. If you are going through any kind of symptoms in your life, there's always another route. You don't need to go down the medication. We're not saying we're doctors. We're just saying just give it a go. Just give it a go. And if it impacts your life, then what can these people say to you? They can say nothing. And that's the reason why we just do this podcast, is to just give you a different option, give you a different voice, and say what other you've got nothing to lose. Nothing to lose whatsoever. So if you guys want to reach out to me, just go onto my website. My website is called Fitness Beyond Time 01. I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram. And if you ever want to reach out to me for coaching, just send me an email at ennismark93@gmail.com.
Peter?
Yeah, I think that was a nice statement to make, Mark. And there's no harm in trying these things, especially if you don't find any other way to solve your health issues. And give it a try. That's what I would say. And I'm the Dutch Carnivore / low carb perspective, so you can find me there. Yeah,
and I'm gonna elaborate on what you guys were saying. And when I had a talk with Dr. Ana Rosa, she put me through this little bit of a thought experiment, and I'm just, because it's a fitting time. Oh, I gotta eat meat. Oh, I gotta watch my macros. Oh, I gotta drink water. Oh, I gotta not drink Coca-Cola. Oh, I gotta go to the doctor again. Oh, I gotta suffer with these crazy things. Oh my God, it's another thing. You see what I'm saying? So, you know what? Is it worth a try? Probably should try it. And that's, if anything, we are just showing a different perspective, shedding a light on our 3 collective takes on how we do things. And we're not perfect. We're not the be all end all. We never say you should or shouldn't. Just, we talk about things that sometimes are a little uncomfortable, but I think the world needs to hear it. Once again, the interview with Kyle Kesey's Keto is Key. It's on our channel. Go check it out. We're going to have him and Caroline back eventually. We'll do another one with them. The documentary is featuring some powerhouses in the metabolic health community. Also the carnivore community worldwide. If you are a carnivore and you haven't heard of that, go on to Instagram, go on to YouTube, TCCW, supporting them. Also, big support to Brian, Hunter Gatherer Mindset. He's one of us, and we appreciate you. Of course, Byron Funk, Carnivore Beats YT on YouTube, and Carnivore Beats on TikTok and Instagram. Support us, help us share these things. If you can, comment, like, subscribe, all those things. If you want to find me, I am at Tony_Food for Thought on Instagram and TikTok. Also, I'm starting a new platform, a new support place for people that have, for life after the GLP-1s. And, it's all about bringing awareness to the metabolic health space. And if we can help anybody, we appreciate all your comments and your participation, guys. We love you. Thank you. And we'll see you next Sunday.
Bye-bye.